Healthy Rebel Radio is sponsored by the Healthy Rebel app. 300 plus secretly healthy, delicious, mouth-watering dessert and treat recipes made with all-natural, whole food ingredients. Now available for download on the App Store and Google Play. Find out more details at healthyrebel.com.
Welcome to Healthy Rebel Radio. I'm your host, Dr. David Dyser. I'm here with my Damie Health Healthy Rebel co-founder, Amy Lane. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. So, by the assessment of your most recent breakfast choices, smoothies are back.
Smoothies are back. Smoothies are cool.
Smoothies are cool. Smoothies are back in full force.
Yeah, I don't know. I just can't.
It's awfully cold.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not really finding it that cold.
I do. But not first thing in the morning because you have the heat cranked and I wake up ridiculously warm. And I'm having my tea first, which is making a difference, and then I have my smoothie.
Okay.
But yeah, so I was just re-looking at some of my things because I was using smoothies from the 21-day vegan cleanse and the Healthy Rebel app, kind of using all my smoothies that I've used in the past but then moved on from, kind of going back. And then I was just talking to you about reformatting some old content on the blog. But
because there's so many good smoothies there. I mean,
I know, but I was just so lame back in the day because they're from, like, a lot of the smoothies that I use to this day were created between 2009 and 2012. And at that time, I was just using an iPhone 5?
Yeah. No, 4.
4? An iPhone 4 for photos and just taking them outside, so there was no lighting. It was just whatever the lighting was.
Yeah, there was not even a light box at that point.
No, and I mean, I just didn't have a rhythm. I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
But that's also, a good thing, because I didn't know what I was doing. It was just creative, and I didn't worry about, trying to look like a magazine. But now bloggers are, also professional photographers and, food stylists, and I mean, it's just so competitive. It's crazy. It's not about so much good ideas anymore. It's about looking like you're a publication. So, Anyway, I obviously have upped my photography game. I'm still not great, but I'm better. And I was looking at, I'm just frustrated because I don't know what to do. I want to put these smoothies back out there for people because I want people to get back to the basics. Like, I love all my dessert stuff, but right now I'm not in a dessert place. I'm having no dessert for 4 weeks, so it's hard for me to make desserts if neither of us can enjoy them for a month, right?
Well, and also, like, the sort of the theme of your year has been back to the basics.
Yeah, and I'm trying to, be more clear, and like I said, we're not having a treat for 4 weeks. That's our goal for the first 4 weeks of the new year, so I want to repurpose these things, but with Google and I don't want to confuse people because there's great content.
Well, tell me, like, you have a whole bunch of smoothie recipes that you absolutely love and you'll reuse. What are sort of the ingredients that you get most obsessed with? Like, what do you actually like in your smoothies?
Well, right now I'm looking for more filling things. So right now I have the smoothie that I love, and it's like I think it's the key lime pie Radiant Beauty smoothie.
Okay. And
in it, I just have it jam-packed with, different nutrients, but also healthy fats, which I think is really awesome right now, plus vitamin C from limes, which is good for the skin, avocados that are good for the skin, all these different things, plus it's filling, because I think I have flax in there and hemp and obviously avocado, tons of spinach. Anyway, it's delicious. And I've written out why I put all the different things in there, and I have nutrients, but I mean, this is like a buried 2012 crappy photos type deal. So I want to repurpose them, and get them back out to people because I want people to get back to the basics and the easy stuff and the delicious stuff. And
well, what we can do is we can tag it in the show notes for today's show.
Yeah, but then they're gonna click on it and they're gonna be like,
oh yeah, they're gonna say, those photos are.
I have some new photos. I took some photos of my smoothie. That's the thing I'm trying to get into too, is take photos of everything I consume. It's not easy for me. Yeah, I'm very in the moment, but I took photos yesterday of it, So maybe we'll do a new post.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And link it in the show notes.
I noticed also that fresh ginger has been...
Well, that's what I was going to say. You know how I'm usually like, I can't do smoothies in the winter because I'm so freezing?
Mm-hmm.
I've been using warming ingredients and things.
Mm.
That's helped.
It makes it easier.
Yeah, ever since I went down to our local, the Granville Island Public Market, and there's this, how would you call it, that little booth?
It's like a vegetarian smoothie bar. I mean, it has juices and smoothies.
Yeah, it has. We'll often go down to this place called Granville Island Public Market here in Vancouver, and it's a beautiful location. Actually, we have some photos. We have professional photos done from there. Maybe we can link a couple of those. Anyway, there's all kinds of cute shops and market type stuff there, and we like to sometimes get beverages and go down there where I don't drink coffee. Sometimes I find the tea just doesn't do it for me in public places. Also, I find that tea place overwhelming because they don't get where you line up, and everybody.
It's too much of a confusion. Like, it's really busy there. Yeah,
it's crazy, and like everybody that goes to that tea place already kind of knows what they're getting. So in the summer, I'll just grab the pre-made herbal iced tea. But in the winter, I don't feel comfortable standing there and looking at the wall. It's not inviting to me.
They have a ton of choices too.
A ton of choices, but everyone seems to know what they're doing, and I don't know what I'm doing. So I just.
Tea walls are hard.
So I find it uncomfortable. I don't find it that nice. So I just don't go there. Anyway, I was freezing a couple weeks ago, and you had your coffee from down there that you love. And I went to this juice place, and I was like, oh, I'm just so cold. Anyway, on the menu, I saw hot apple and ginger. Ordered it. Life-changing.
Oh, buddy.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. And it's just pure...
excitement.
Apples and ginger pressed and then warmed up. I love it.
Still talking about it today. How many weeks ago was that?
Oh God, it must have been 2 months ago.
Wow.
I'd say. Maybe. Yes, I'm still talking about it. I still think about it almost every day.
Almost every day.
And now I make it, but I've made it and not heated it up. And it was delicious. And I added greens and made it into... And it was still warming because of the ginger.
Nice. Still warming because of the ginger.
I think I've talked too much about smoothies and beverages.
No, you can be into smoothies. That's okay. So let's move on to some of the health news then.
Okay.
If we're good to go on the smoothie front.
I may have other things to say. We'll see.
If anything else smoothie comes up, you just let me know.
Okay.
Okay. I want to talk today first about something controversial that's happening. It came out in The Guardian this morning, and it's about what's going on in Europe, and I assume that the general principles are similar across most developed nations, and that's that the referrals for testing for brain tumors and brain injuries and issues with cognitive functioning is being delayed in women and people of low income. And this has been documented.
It's being
Delayed, yes. So it shows that women and people of low income are twice as likely to not get testing done, not get imaging done on their brain, a brain scan, when they come in with these specific symptoms that would warrant a brain scan. So it's highly controversial, and some of the reports have been that diagnoses of anxiety and depression and fatigue are coming before testing is being done. And I think that it is, it's not good to see at all, and it's not new. It's not new, but it generates a major discussion in health about, how women do present differently with a whole host of other things. The symptoms can present differently for many different syndromes and disorders. But we know that they present, and
we also know that women are constantly dismissed, and we know that women can also be less likely to go for advice and go for help. Really? I think it's men that are less likely.
Well, men are less likely to go to the doctor. But women are stronger mentally.
Yeah, but I also think in society we've been told that it's normal to have these huge hormonal swings, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's been normalized. Like, you do know, I mean, how many years ago was it that all these women were, like, if they would have PMS, they were diagnosed with hysteria.
Hysteria, absolutely.
Like,
that wasn't that long ago.
No. Women have been we've always been treated less in society. I don't care whether you're awake to it or not.
No, it's still not coming around. It's just still not, the changes still aren't being made. One woman's quote is that she saw a GP for the 5th time in 1 year before getting a brain scan, and she had symptoms that would warrant one, like memory loss, personality changes, which would warrant a brain scan. On her 5th visit, she was told, "No, you don't need a brain scan. You're just really tired." When the nurse was saying that it was obvious that her symptoms were, most likely caused by pressure in the brain. And this is just obviously an N of one example. But if you look at the epidemiological studies, they're seeing that women are much less likely to get referred for a brain scan when it's warranted.
That is horrible.
Yeah, and scary and sad.
Yeah.
So we know in heart attacks, women are also diagnosed less frequently, and they die more from cardiovascular disease at younger ages than men do. When it comes down to the ratios of how many die. And that's because, well, we've attributed so far to the fact that their symptoms are different, that it's mostly not left arm pain, it's mostly stomach pain, nausea, it's different symptoms than what a man would go through. But we're starting to really know what those symptoms are, and still this is happening.
It's terrible.
And it's super scary. So when it comes to what it comes down to, I mean, we have to be more proactive. The medical side of things has to wake up to the fact that this is happening and make some changes. This is coming out of a tumor charity, which is a sort of like a British cancer agency who's doing some research on the total numbers.
Do you think it would also be beneficial if there was more female doctors? Because I'd say that the ratio to men to women is still off.
I'm not sure. I'm sure it probably still is off, but I'm not sure that it would change things, because we're talking with societal norms here. And societal norms apply to female and male physicians. So we don't know, that the study didn't break down male and female doctors, but that would definitely be interesting to see. So I mean, this has got to change, and women are being prescribed antidepressants more often than men.
Yes, I see that myself.
Oh yeah, and then on the other spectrum with kids, female children are being diagnosed less with ADHD than male children. Now, is that because they don't get it as much, or is it because their symptoms are different?
The physical symptoms of a male with ADHD is very easy to see.
Right, it's clear. It's mostly on the hyperactivity side, whereas females are mostly on the reserve side, the other spectrum of the ADHD, and they're not being diagnosed. They're just being called, shy. Right, so it's got some changes have to happen, and I think that just generally speaking about it would hopefully move things forward a bit quicker. So, the second one this is obviously a little lighter. Health story number 2, coming out of the Journal of Epidemiology, the study of mass populations this morning, looking at nuts. Epidemiology, thank you. Looking at nuts as a healthy food, obviously.
Okay.
This is coming out of the Netherlands, so here's a Dutch connection for you.
David's Dutch.
120,000 people studied from 1986, looking at their nut consumption. Total reduction in all-cause mortality, basically everything. The people who ate not necessarily more nuts, but 15 grams of nuts per day, which is half a handful, had less cardiovascular disease, less cancer, less Alzheimer's, higher cognitive function. Literally everything. Very interesting and so exciting, because it's such an easy thing to do. Now, if you ate...
there specific types of nuts?
No, and they even include peanuts.
Legumes.
There you go. So, if you ate more nuts, it didn't give you more benefit. It's just if you ate half a handful of nuts per day, and this is a big group of people. This is 120,000 people. They had less diabetes. Pretty much everything came back less. And very simple thing to do. I mean, we've known for a long time that eating nuts prevents Alzheimer's on a certain level, and also reduces the chance of cardiovascular disease. It's good for the cardiovascular system. But now we know it actually prevents death from pretty much everything. Half a handful of nuts. And this goes with your theme, keeping it back to getting back to the basics for the year.
This is my year.
This is your year
of promoting the basics.
It's good.
Well,
add this to the list.
I think everyone needs to just,
Okay, I've got 2 things coming out of the local area, coming out of Vancouver.
Oh boy.
One is a new alarm clock.
Is it Oscar?
It's not Oscar.
Okay.
I know. So, to explain what she means by that, Oscar is Amy's alarm clock.
Mm-hmm.
How does he wake you up? Well, what's
it's adorable. He sniffs my face. So, I don't know.
Oscar's a dog, by the way. Oscar he's a small dog.
Well, he's supposed to be smaller. Yeah. But let's just say he has a little extra loving.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, every morning I'm just sleeping, minding my own business, and I wake up to something tickling my face. And when I open my eyes, it's literally his nose pressed up against mine.
And a few whiskers.
He's just staring at me, and it's his little fuzz on his face. He wakes me up just by, putting his little face on my face. It's the cutest thing, and then I wake up and he wags his tail. I mean, it's the sweetest way.
Oh, he's so gentle.
Oh, he's so kind. And it's just the most... You can't be mad.
No.
Ever.
Oh,
it's the best alarm clock on Earth.
Oh my gosh. He used to be the absolute worst alarm clock on Earth for me.
Yes, he was for years. Oscar, when Oscar was a runt, and he had some major digestive, bowel, emotional, and then he also had ear infections. He constantly was sick when he was a puppy, and he was... it was really hard, and it was hard on Dave. It was the
small
worst.
bladder.
Tiny bladder. He couldn't control it, and he used to cry every time.
He'd just get down and just cry.
He would cry every time he had to use the washer, and it used to be just he would go to Dave and just cry constantly. Yeah. And then there was a while where we tried to have him not sleep in our bed. That never worked. So he would cry all through the night. I mean, I can't even think about it now.
No, those were hard times for Oscar.
Those were. And I just finally said, you know what? I'm done. He's sleeping in our bed.
Yeah.
And 8 years later, here we are.
So, new alarm clock on Kickstarter out of Vancouver called Ruggy. And it's a simple mat by your bed that's an alarm clock. You can't turn it off unless you get out of bed.
Oh.
You have to throw your feet off the bed and put your feet on it and stand up, put pressure on it, and that turns off the alarm clock.
That would do it, wouldn't it?
That would definitely do it. I think it's going to be popular.
I just can't wake up in such an aggressive way anymore.
No. You definitely need a gentle wake up.
I have learned that about myself, and instead of trying to alter it, I've just accepted it.
Yeah.
I can't do an aggressive alarm clock, gotta get up type.
Oh, yeah.
I need a gentle... The best thing that ever happened to me was him waking me up, really.
Yeah,
because it's gentle.
Absolutely.
You're incapable of being angry.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what time it is. He's so sweet.
I mean, you can get angry for a second.
Yeah, I don't think you would go to anger, though. You could be, annoyed.
Right, yeah.
I'm never angry.
No, not about that.
No. It's too cute.
I set the alarm clock, and then my brain just wakes me up before it every
I know,
morning.
You're so weird. Whatever time you decide to get up, you wake up 15 minutes before.
Yeah, it's very strange.
I try not to get up early anymore.
But you're getting up quite early.
I'm talking about when we used to try to get up at 4:30.
Oh, that was
5.
That was way too much.
Why were we doing that? We just heard that that's what people did, and we used to go run 10K before. No, it just was not.
More time in the day, more time to do more.
Yeah, it's when those life hacking things were really popular. And
if you just sleep less,
you'll
get more done.
You know how you be more successful than everyone?
Yeah.
Elon Musk told me this.
What?
You just work way harder and way more.
I love Elon
My God,
Musk.
he's so funny.
That was the best quote.
He's like, if someone's working 40 hours a week and you're working 80 hours a week, you're going to end up being more successful. So, work 100 hours a week, and then it'll be good. And it's like...
Oh, I love it.
Oh, my God.
And that's so true for him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for sure. It's just most people aren't Elon Musk. Most people haven't found... what he does is his life.
Mm-hmm.
It's his life work. Mm-hmm. Most people are trying to have relationships and... a creative side of life and a work side of life and a spiritual side of life. Most people are trying to have, something else.
Yes, absolutely. And this is everything for him.
Right. And I think if you want to be, like him, for sure, go for that. It's just what's devastating is the people that put in that time and then aren't him. Mm-hmm. And then the time's gone and you don't have relationships or... For sure. I don't know how we got on this kick.
We got on an Elon Musk kick.
I love him, though.
Oh, me too. So we have I think it's called Ruggy. It's on Kickstarter. It'll be out soon.
Alarm clock.
Ruggy, yeah. Good story. Okay, the final one I have here is another one out of Vancouver. It's out of Simon Fraser. These researchers at Simon Fraser University are studying telomeres, which there's a theory of aging around it's a DNA theory of aging. When your telomeres get shorter, that is indicative of life getting shorter, basically aging. So there's been lots of products come out and lots of research done on how to lengthen telomeres and to try to make them longer. So anyhow, this study is out of Simon Fraser, but they're studying groups of women in Guatemala. And what they found was, of the two groups of women they studied, the women who had more children had longer telomeres, basically stating that they're going to live longer. Now, we don't know yet, obviously. They're all still alive. But their aging has been reduced. So if you look at their cellular aging, it's absolutely reduced to people who had more living children. People who lost children, it was different. But the people who had the most living children had the longest telomeres, therefore the less amount of cellular damage throughout the whole body, and therefore could potentially live longer. In terms of aging, that would be reduced. Now, the main criticism of the study is that this is done in Guatemala, where they may have different societal norms around child rearing and support from family being one of them. Stress reduction being easier because of so much community and family support when you have more children. So it could be different in different societies. So it'd be interesting to do the same thing in a high pressure society where women are also working, having tons of kids.
Right, but you don't know what the pressures are.
No, exactly.
We don't know what the income level is, because I've watched documentaries before about people in Guatemala. I mean, their pressure is maybe we don't have food next week.
Exactly.
And you can't say that's not high pressure.
No, it could be.
It's a
much,
different.
Yeah,
it's
totally
a survival
different.
High pressure.
It could actually have a cellular effect. But in these two groups of women, it didn't matter. Whoever had the more kids.
I wonder if it's because it gives your life a deeper purpose, and you kind of put your thoughts of yourself behind you, and you start thinking about living for these people. Because, living an unselfish life, I think, has been proven time and time and time again. If you focus on other people, everything improves, including your stress levels. I wonder.
Yeah, it's interesting. One of the hormone theories is that when you have more kids, you release more estrogen, because you release a lot of estrogen when you're pregnant. And that the estrogen was actually, as an antioxidant, protective of the cells, allowing the telomeres to stay long. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Who knows? I think that it'll be interesting if it's done more on our population, and they should just repeat the same thing. It'd be excellent to see. Having more kids might make you live longer.
Okay, well, calm down on that.
This little promotional thing for having children from my side. Yeah. So that's our show for today. Thank you for listening to Healthy Rebel Radio, episode 7. Have a great day.
See you.
Healthy Rebel Radio is presented by the online health and wellness center, DamiHealth.com. Since 2009, Amy Lane has successfully coached thousands of women through her signature program, the Bikini Body Program. Join today to work exclusively with Amy to unveil your greatest yet to be from the inside out. Go to DamiHealth.com for more information.
Thank you for listening to Healthy Rebel Radio. Please connect with us on our community pages on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram, all at the handle @DamiHealth. For weekly recipes, articles, and all our episodes straight to your inbox, join our newsletter at DamiHealth.com. You can find all the links discussed in today's episode in the show notes. Thank you for joining us, and see you tomorrow.